All right, welcome guys. Today's date is May the 8th, 2018. I mentioned on Facebook today that I wanted to put together a brief little video about how to tell whether or not your trade that you're jumping into is going to be moving an excessive amount of pips. So my general style for trading is I love to catch tops and I love to catch bottoms. I love to reversal trade. That doesn't mean there aren't times when I will grab a trend trade as well, but my bread and butter is definitely catching tops and catching bottoms. So naturally speaking, there was one that I was watching for, and let me go over this real quick here. This is the Aussie dollar right here. I was looking for shorts right up in here, which I did in fact grab, as did many of the people in my group because we were talking about it in the chat room and in the premium group. But up here was a very, very, very strong shortable level. Again, I've made videos on this in the past. The reason why is we made an extensive move all the way up to the top. There was really no pullback the entire way. So as price moved into major, major resistance, price was very, very exhausted and therefore needed to come down. This was a qualified CRT on the daily time frame if you've taken the course. On the weekly time frame, another thing I want to show you is this right here. This is the top right here that we were taking short and looking to jump in at. And another reason why I took this, not only was this a daily CRT, but on the weekly time frame, you can see right up here, this is the 750, 800, and 850 moving average, which is a pretty big deal. Anytime you see the market moving into those kind of levels, especially at a price level, you have to pay very, very close attention because this is a major reversal point in the market. So always watch your 800 period moving average on your charts here, especially on the higher time frame. So in addition to this level up here being a CRT, it was also a 800 period moving average up here that was going to hold back price from moving much higher. Not only that, but we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bullish candles in a row on the weekly time frame, and that is very rare. Usually after you have 5, 6, 7, you can look to see some kind of reversal. So there was a bit of a time count on there as well. So right up here was our short, but how can we tell if this is going to go far? How do we know if this is going to bump up into the 81 level and then just come down maybe to 78 or 79? How would we be able to tell that this is getting ready to fall like it has, and how can we tell that it's going to keep falling even harder? So what you want to do is you want to check out your higher time frames. Anytime you're looking to take a trade, you should always look to the higher time frames because the higher time frames are going to kind of give you an idea of whether or not the trade is going to continue to run, if it's going to be a big reversal. Is it really at the end of its trend, or is this going to be are you taking a reversal towards the beginning of a new trend? I mean, all those things are things you need to look at. In this case, if you go to the monthly time frame, take a very good look right here. Let me zoom in for you so that you can see this. Actually, let's zoom out just a little bit here. The first thing I want to point out to you is this. We had a massive, massive fall off of this top here back in 2011. You're dealing with about 110 level, and we dropped all the way down to 69. So clearly, you can see we had a massive, massive drop right here, and then we just see this thing continue to grind sideways and up for many, many, many months. In fact, the bottom was down here in January of 2016, and the top was up here in January of 2018. So we have got 2 years of price just consolidating and moving up like this. If you are an equities trader, you should recognize this as a type of bearish pattern. Anytime you see this, again, you have a big leg down and then a small move back up. This is a bit of a flag pattern, so you got to be very careful. Another thing I want to note here too is anytime you have a slow consolidation into this major moving average with the trend, just like this, that is usually a major reversal point and you're getting ready to continue the trend. So knowing those two items right there, if we are able to grab a top over here, such as we did on the daily time frame right here, you should know now that this is probably getting ready to fall pretty darn hard. In addition to that, you always want to check out your momentum as well. If you look at the daily time frame, I do use this as my momentum indicator. If you look at the daily time frame, obviously you're not going to be able to see a whole lot up here. There was some divergence up here, but for your momentum, you want to check your higher time frames. Was there anything really on the weekly time frame? Nothing really to speak of up here. Nothing abnormal, nothing unusual. But if you go to the monthly time frame, this is where it gets really, really interesting here. You can see prices moving up, and typically whatever price is doing, these lines right here should follow, especially the narrower line where my cursor's at right here. You can see right here was the bottom. As price pulled down to create the double bottom, you can see our momentum indicator was pushing up and we were crossing over. That's incredibly bullish momentum. We continued to move up. We pulled back right here. Momentum stays strong. Typically, when you see a pullback, you should see this come back too, but it's not. So this tells me it's still pretty strong. Right here, though, is when we begin to see some cracks. You see price pulling back, and then the momentum is coming down a little bit. Price pushing up. Momentum, again, is rising a little bit. Price pulling back again. Momentum's dropping. So everything's normal right here. So, I mean, it's right here. It's really bullish. Things look really, really good. For long positions, right here is when things begin to stabilize and become back to normal. Again, you see a push up right here, and you can see the line continues to go up. It pulls back right here. This is where you got to pay very, very close attention. And it's very ironic that it happened at the major moving average too, by the way. You have a pullback here, and then you see a pullback right here. And notice the last move up right here. Let me draw a line in so you can definitely see this. This move up right here, as price pushed higher to this double top, what was happening here? This narrow line continued to drop and it stayed red. That is indicating that there is some negative momentum, negative energy, however you want to look at it, coming into this currency pair, because this should be moving up. And if it's not, this is indicating that there is weakness here and you could be looking at a reversal. And it just so happened to happen at this major moving average. So on the daily time frame, again, this is our level that we were taking a trade off of. If you go back to the monthly time frame, when we were setting up to make this top right here, this is our level we traded, you can see the momentum has died. That is a very good indication that your trade is going to work out. And when it does work out, you can expect quite a tumble, because this is indicating there's a lot of negative momentum, a lot of negative energy coming into this. So we are seeing a very dramatic fall because of that. In fact, in the weekly time frame, we've gone up here. The high was 81.35, and we're all the way down to 74.35 basically. So that is a 700 pip drop. You could have caught that with a very minimal stop loss and made a killing. And it's very unlikely that it's done going down just yet. Again, if you go back to the monthly time frame, this is still very, very weak. If you see a push up, which is, well, eventually going to happen. It can't drop forever without a pullback. But if you see this moving up on the monthly time frame and this continues to be red and drop, that means there's still no positive momentum coming into this, and there's a very high likelihood that it's going to continue to drop. Notice I have a line right down here. That line right there, it's not really a CRT on any time frame, but this is going to be a major, major handle in the market. The reason for that is this. If we break this low, this is going to be the lowest levels we have seen in about 9 years. So this is definitely going to be an area to watch. Am I willing to take a long position before then? Honestly, probably not. You can see on your chart right here, though, we have a pivot here. We do have two pivots right here and right here. And obviously, this is a major bottom. If this breaks, all hell is going to break loose. And it could easily go down to this level right here and eventually this level right here. So as far as looking to trade this, right now I don't have a position on. I am completely out of this right now. But I am looking at taking buy positions down here at the bottom. Again, I would expect a pretty good bounce down here. If for some reason we were able to drop all the way down here without a cross above this band right here, that indicates an incredible, and I mean an incredible amount of exhaustion in this market. I highly doubt that's going to happen, but if that was to happen, that would be almost a guaranteed trade for me. So I would definitely be loading up at the bottom around 68.50 to about 69.50, maybe even up to 70 here. And I will be looking for a pretty good reversal. I would absolutely love to see this continue to fall all the way to the bottom with no pullback. That would be incredible because you would have a major handle down here. In addition, you would have a very, very, very exhausted currency pair here. So love to see that down there. But as of right now, maybe I'll consider getting in on a pullback here, but I am out right now. But again, I just wanted to show you how you can expect to find trades that may be looking to run a really, really long way. But again, 700 pips is nothing to complain about, especially when your risk on this is not very much. Probably not. I think our risk on this was like 100 pips. So if you're able to grab 5, 6, 700 pips and your risk is 100 pips, then you've made 5, 6, 7 times what your risk was. And if you're risking 2 or 3%, you've just made 10, 20% of your account off of one trade, which is really outlandish, but it does happen. So, but again, you want to watch your higher time frames here. Pay very close attention. Is there other major moving averages such as this one right here or the 800? Is that present? Because again, these often see major reversals off of those levels. And also check your momentum. It is very key that you understand the way momentum works. And if there's some weakness showing up and you're nearing a top, get ready to let that baby run because it's probably going pretty far. But anyways, that's all I got for you today. If you have any questions, any concerns, anything you want to go over, just send me a message. As always, I'd be more than happy to create a video. Your ideas are where I get my ideas for these videos. So guys, have a great day.